The 1970s were a strange time for Britain's car industry. Manufacturers were trying bold new ideas, promising buyers more comfort, better economy, and modern engineering. On paper, many of these cars looked like winners. But once they reached British driveways, owners discovered a very different reality. Some rusted far too quickly. Others suffered constant mechanical failures. And one car became so embarrassing that many owners wished they'd never bought it. Which of these forgotten British disasters do you remember? Let us know in the comments. Here are 10 weird British cars owners regretted buying in the 1970s. Number 10. Reliant Kitten. At first glance, the Reliant Kitten seemed like a sensible little family car. Built during the mid-1970s, it was designed for buyers who wanted something cheap to run without moving to one of Reliant's famous three-wheelers. It had 4 wheels, a lightweight fiberglass body, and impressive fuel economy. During the fuel crises of the 1970s, that sounded exactly like what many British families needed. Early buyers loved the idea. Running costs stayed low. Insurance was affordable. And because the body was made from fiberglass, owners believed rust would never become a serious problem. Unfortunately, saving money in one area created problems somewhere else. The lightweight construction meant the Kitten often felt unstable during strong crosswinds, especially on faster roads. Road noise filled the cabin, while the tiny engine struggled whenever the car carried 4 passengers or climbed steep hills. Many drivers quickly realized motorway journeys required patience rather than confidence. Even simple overtaking could become stressful. Another complaint appeared surprisingly often: the build quality. Panels sometimes failed to line up properly, water leaks became common after only a few years, and interior trim developed rattles that owners found impossible to eliminate. None of these problems completely ruined the car, but together they slowly destroyed buyer confidence. Sales remained disappointing, and today very few Kittens survive. Have you ever actually seen one on British roads? Most people haven't. And the next car promised executive comfort, before leaving many owners wondering where all the money had gone. Number 9. Wolseley Six. When British Leyland introduced the Wolseley Six in 1972, expectations were high. This wasn't supposed to be ordinary family transport. It was aimed at buyers who wanted something refined without paying Jaguar prices. Number 10. Triumph Stag. The Triumph Stag should have been one of Britain's greatest success stories. When it arrived in 1970, it looked absolutely stunning. With sleek Italian styling, a luxurious interior, and a powerful V8 engine, many people believed it would finally challenge expensive Mercedes and Jaguar convertibles. It wasn't cheap. People who bought one expected premium quality. And during the first few weeks, many owners absolutely loved them. Driving with the roof down on a sunny afternoon made the Stag feel every bit the grand touring car Triumph had promised. Unfortunately, that dream rarely lasted. The biggest problem sat under the bonnet. Triumph's brand new V8 engine suffered from serious cooling problems. Engines regularly overheated, especially during long summer journeys or slow-moving traffic. Some owners experienced repeated head gasket failures. Others watched expensive engine rebuilds become almost routine. The frustration didn't stop there. Timing chains stretched earlier than expected. Water pumps failed. And poor servicing by garages unfamiliar with the complicated engine often made things even worse. Ironically, the Stag itself wasn't actually a bad car. Many specialists today agree that properly maintained examples can be reliable. But during the 1970s, owners simply didn't have that knowledge. Its reputation collapsed. Thousands of buyers lost confidence almost overnight. Many sold their Stags at huge financial losses. Today it's considered a beautiful classic, but back then, many owners wished they'd never bought one. Would you still own a Stag knowing its reputation? Because the next car proved that even Britain's biggest manufacturer could produce something buyers struggled to understand. Number 10. Triumph Stag. The Triumph Stag should have been one of Britain's greatest success stories. When it arrived in 1970, it looked absolutely stunning. With sleek Italian styling, a luxurious interior, and a powerful V8 engine, many people believed it would finally challenge expensive Mercedes and Jaguar convertibles. It wasn't cheap. People who bought one expected premium quality. And during the first few weeks, many owners absolutely loved them. Driving with the roof down on a sunny afternoon made the Stag feel every bit the grand touring car Triumph had promised. Unfortunately, that dream rarely lasted. The biggest problem sat under the bonnet. Triumph's brand new V8 engine suffered from serious cooling problems. Engines regularly overheated, especially during long summer journeys or slow-moving traffic. Some owners experienced repeated head gasket failures. Others watched expensive engine rebuilds become almost routine. The frustration didn't stop there. Timing chains stretched earlier than expected. Water pumps failed. And poor servicing by garages unfamiliar with the complicated engine often made things even worse. Ironically, the Stag itself wasn't actually a bad car. Many specialists today agree that properly maintained examples can be reliable. But during the 1970s, owners simply didn't have that knowledge. Its reputation collapsed. Thousands of buyers lost confidence almost overnight. Many sold their Stags at huge financial losses. Today it's considered a beautiful classic, but back then, many owners wished they'd never bought one. Would you still own a Stag knowing its reputation? Because the next car proved that even Britain's biggest manufacturer could produce something buyers struggled to understand. Number 7. Austin Princess. When British Leyland launched the Austin Princess in 1975, they believed they were showing Britain the future. Its sharp wedge-shaped styling looked unlike almost anything else on British roads. Some people thought it looked futuristic. Others thought it looked unfinished. Either way, everyone noticed it. Inside, the Princess impressed buyers with enormous interior space. The soft Hydrogas suspension delivered an exceptionally comfortable ride, making long journeys feel effortless. Families loved the roomy cabin. Taxi companies appreciated how comfortable passengers felt. On paper, everything looked promising. But reality became far less impressive. Owners quickly discovered that build quality simply couldn't match the bold styling. Electrical faults appeared regularly. Door seals leaked. Interior trim often became loose after only a few years. Paint quality also disappointed many buyers. Then there was another surprising issue. Although the Princess looked like a hatchback, it wasn't one. The rear window didn't lift. Only the boot opened. Many buyers only realized this after purchasing the car, leaving them frustrated every time they tried loading large items. That unusual design decision confused customers and became one of the Princess's biggest criticisms. Despite selling reasonably well, it never became the revolutionary family car British Leyland had hoped for. Today, surviving Princess models attract attention because they're so rare. But during the 1970s, many owners quietly regretted believing all the showroom promises. And somehow, the next car managed to frustrate buyers even more. The elegant grille, plush interior and smooth six-cylinder engine certainly created the right first impression. Many company managers proudly collected one from the dealership believing they'd made a clever decision. For the first few weeks, everything felt exactly as promised. The seats were comfortable. The ride felt soft. Passengers enjoyed generous space. It looked every bit the respectable British executive saloon. Then the problems started arriving. Owners soon complained about electrical faults that seemed to appear without warning. Power windows stopped working. Dashboard instruments failed. Lighting problems became frustratingly common. Even worse, British Leyland's famous quality control issues meant two identical cars could feel completely different. Some owners experienced very few problems. Others seemed to spend more time visiting garages than actually driving. The complicated hydroelastic suspension also became expensive whenever repairs were needed. Mechanics capable of fixing it properly weren't always easy to find. As German rivals improved year after year, the Wolseley Six quickly began looking outdated. Many owners eventually traded them for something more dependable. Today it's remembered less for luxury, and more for proving that expensive doesn't always mean reliable. But compared with the next car, the Wolseley Six was almost sensible. Number 6. Jensen Healey. The Jensen Healey arrived in 1972 with enormous expectations. Jensen wanted a sports car that could replace the aging Austin Healey and compete directly with the MGB and Triumph TR6. On paper, it sounded perfect. It featured modern styling, a lightweight body, and, most importantly, Lotus's brand-new 16-valve engine. Buyers believed they were getting genuine sports car performance at a sensible price. The first test drives were exciting. The steering felt sharp. The handling impressed journalists. Acceleration was quicker than many rivals. For a brief moment, it looked as though Britain had produced another future classic. Then reality caught up. The sophisticated Lotus engine proved far more complicated than most owners expected. Poor maintenance often caused timing belt failures, oil leaks, and overheating. Many local garages simply didn't understand the engine well enough to repair it properly. Repairs became expensive, and breakdowns became common. Rust also appeared much earlier than buyers expected. Some cars showed serious corrosion after only a few British winters. Owners who had proudly bought a stylish sports car suddenly found themselves facing large repair bills. Many simply gave up and sold them. Ironically, enthusiasts today appreciate the Jensen Healey far more than buyers did in the 1970s. But at the time, it became another example of a brilliant idea ruined by disappointing reliability. Here's something we'd love to know. Would you rather own a beautiful sports car that's unreliable, or a slower car that starts every single morning? The next car promised advanced engineering for ordinary families, but left many wishing the engineers had kept things much simpler. Number 5. Austin Allegro. No list of disappointing British cars would feel complete without the Austin Allegro. When British Leyland launched it in 1973, management believed it would become Britain's next great family car. Millions were spent developing it. Advertising promised comfort, economy, and modern engineering. Thousands of families believed every word. The Allegro offered front-wheel drive, comfortable hydrogas suspension, and surprisingly good fuel economy. Inside, it felt spacious enough for everyday family life. Early buyers genuinely thought they'd made a smart decision. Unfortunately, the problems appeared surprisingly quickly. Quality control remained inconsistent. Electrical faults became common. Gear linkages frustrated drivers. Paint quality disappointed many owners. Then there was the styling. Some people accepted it. Many never did. Its unusual shape quickly became the subject of jokes across Britain. Perhaps the strangest feature of all was the famous Quartic square steering wheel fitted to some early models. British Leyland claimed it improved visibility. Owners simply wondered why nobody had left the steering wheel alone. Although later models returned to a normal steering wheel, the damage had already been done. The Allegro became one of Britain's most criticized family cars. Yet here's the interesting part. Despite all the jokes, British families still bought hundreds of thousands of them. Because they needed affordable transport. Sometimes practicality mattered more than reputation. But if you thought the Allegro became embarrassing, wait until you see the final 4 cars. They turned disappointment into something far worse. Number 4. Morris Marina. When British Leyland introduced the Morris Marina in 1971, they weren't trying to build Britain's most exciting car. They wanted something simple, affordable, and capable of taking sales away from Ford. At first, it seemed to work. The Marina sold extremely well. Families liked its sensible price. Company drivers appreciated its familiar mechanical layout. And because it shared parts with older BMC models, many garages already knew how to repair it. On paper, it looked like a safe choice. But owners soon discovered several weaknesses. The suspension received heavy criticism almost immediately. Drive over rough British roads, and the front end often bounced more than buyers expected. Journalists were equally disappointed, describing the handling as old-fashioned even when it was brand new. Build quality didn't help either. Rust appeared far earlier than many owners expected. Door bottoms, wheel arches, and sills quickly became familiar trouble spots. Many Marinas looked far older than they actually were. Despite all this, the Marina kept selling. But because during the 1970s, many British buyers simply couldn't afford anything better. It became one of those cars people bought with their heads, not their hearts. Today it's remembered as one of British Leyland's biggest missed opportunities. Had it been engineered just a little better, history might remember it very differently. But compared with the next car, the Marina almost looks dependable. Number 3, TVR 3000M. The TVR 3000M looked absolutely fantastic. Low, but and unmistakably British. It offered sports car performance that could embarrass much more expensive rivals. For enthusiasts, it seemed like incredible value. Early owners loved the performance. The Ford V6 engine delivered plenty of power. Its lightweight fiberglass body kept acceleration lively. And every journey felt special. Unfortunately, living with one every day proved much harder. Build quality varied enormously because TVR remained a very small manufacturer. Some cars left the factory beautifully assembled. Others developed water leaks, electrical faults, and irritating rattles almost immediately. Replacement parts weren't always easy to find either. Owners often found themselves waiting weeks for repairs. The cabin also became incredibly hot during summer driving, while winter journeys could feel freezing. Comfort clearly wasn't the priority. Driving excitement was. Many enthusiasts forgave these problems. Ordinary buyers didn't. As a result, the 3000M remained a niche sports car rather than becoming a mainstream success. Today collectors admire them. Back then, some owners simply became exhausted by constant little problems. And now, we've reached the two cars that disappointed British buyers more than almost anything else. Number 2, Triumph Dolomite 1850. The Triumph Dolomite looked like the perfect executive saloon. It offered handsome styling, comfortable seats, strong performance, and a prestigious Triumph badge. Many professionals proudly bought one expecting years of enjoyable motoring. Initially, they weren't disappointed. The Dolomite drove beautifully. Its handling impressed journalists. Passengers enjoyed a refined, comfortable ride. It genuinely felt like a premium British car. Then reliability began damaging its reputation. The 1850 engine became known for overheating problems. Cooling systems demanded constant attention. Water pumps sometimes failed unexpectedly, leaving owners stranded miles from home. Electrical gremlins also appeared regularly. Some owners accepted these faults as part of British motoring. Others quickly lost patience. Many eventually traded their Dolomite for German or Japanese rivals that simply required fewer garage visits. Even today, owners will often tell you the same thing. When it worked, it was brilliant. Sadly, it didn't always work. And that brings us to Britain's most regrettable purchase of the decade. Number 1, Triumph Stag. No British car disappointed more hopeful buyers during the 1970s than the Triumph Stag. It should have been Britain's answer to the Mercedes SL. Beautiful Italian styling, luxurious interior, a smooth V8 engine. Everything about it suggested success. Thousands of buyers couldn't wait to own one. Driving away from the showroom felt like a dream. But for many, the dream didn't last long. The Stag's V8 engine became infamous for overheating. Cooling systems struggled. Head gaskets failed. Timing chains stretched. Many owners found themselves returning to dealerships again, and again, and again. What made the situation even more frustrating was this. The Stag wasn't cheap. People expected premium reliability. Instead, many spent more time worrying about temperature gauges than enjoying open-top driving. Some owners eventually replaced the original Triumph engine with reliable Ford or Rover V8s simply to keep their cars on the road. Ironically, modern specialists have solved many of the original problems. Today's restored Stags can be excellent classics. But during the 1970s, its reputation suffered enormously. For countless British buyers, the Triumph Stag became the ultimate example of a car that looked spectacular, but delivered heartbreak instead.